everyone, and welcome back to Queen G's Recipes. And today we are going to be making a flourless chocolate cake. Very delicious, definitely very moist and fudgy. You are going to love it. It is easy to put together and extremely delicious. So the first thing you want to do is have your oven preheated to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And now let's go over the ingredients that we will be needing here today. So we have some eggs that have been separated, some sugar, vanilla extract. Here we have some instant coffee powder. You can use instant coffee or instant espresso powder, and make sure you add in 1 tablespoon of just warm tap water, and that will dissolve it perfectly fine. We also have some semi-sweet chocolate chips here and some softened butter that I have cubed here. And you will also need a little bit of salt and some cream of tartar, and that's about it for the ingredients. Now for our pan, I am using an 8-inch springform pan, which I have greased, and I have lined with some parchment paper. Now, if you're not going to line your pan with some parchment paper, you want to make sure that you butter and also flour, but instead of using flour, I would use unsweetened cocoa powder to coat your pan as well, and then just shake off the excess cocoa powder. And that is an 8-inch springform pan that I am using, and that's about it. So let's move on to making our flourless chocolate cake. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is whip up your egg whites. So we are going to add in our egg whites and a small amount of cream of tartar. Now remember, the full recipe is in the description box as always. Okay, and we are going to whip these up till we have nice medium peaks. Okay, so this looks great. Now what I'm going to do is place my egg whites here in a separate bowl, and we are going to use this same bowl without washing it because it's not necessary to whisk up our next ingredients. Okay, so before we move on to mixing up our next ingredients, we are going to need to melt our chocolate chips and our butter in a small saucepan. Now you want to place it over medium-low heat and give it a stir every once in a while so that your chocolate doesn't burn and stick to the bottom of the pan. So that'll take a few minutes. And then once that's done, I will show you the next step. Now for this step, you can also use the double boiler method. Whichever you feel most comfortable with is perfectly fine. Okay, so our chocolate and butter mixture has completely melted, and now I'm going to turn off my stove and remove this from my stovetop and let it sit for about 5-7 minutes while we work on the next step. Okay, so now into our bowl, we are going to add in our remaining ingredients, which is our sugar, our coffee and water here, our vanilla extract, and our egg yolks. And we are going to mix these until well combined. Okay, so into a nice clean bowl, we are going to add in our chocolate mixture that has been resting for about 7 minutes. And then we are going to add in the egg yolk mixture that we combined with the coffee and vanilla. And we are going to mix it into this chocolate mixture and give it a good whisk. And then from there, I will show you the final step. Okay, so into our mixture here, we are going to remove our whisk, and now we are going to fold in our egg whites. What we're going to do is fold it in 3 portions. So we'll start off with 1/3 of the egg whites and fold it in, and then so forth with the remaining egg whites. Okay, so you want to be patient with your mixture while folding in your egg whites because you don't want to lose the air that you have provided in your egg whites. So just be patient with it. It will take a few minutes, and you want to make sure that you no longer see any visible egg whites here. So now we are ready to place this in our prepared pan, place it in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And it should take between 20 and 25 minutes, but you can always insert a toothpick in the center just to make sure that it comes out clean. And that's about it. Now, one more thing is I like to place my springform pans on top of a small cookie sheet, just in case anything seeps through the bottom. So that is always a tip I like to share and suggest. Okay, so my cake baked for exactly 35 minutes, and now when you stick a toothpick into the center, it will come out kind of moist, but you shouldn't have batter on it. Like, it might come out with a few crumbs. That is normal, so you want to make sure that you don't over bake your cake. So 35 minutes was my baking time, and now what I'm going to do is leave it here in the pan for about 10 minutes, then run a butter knife around the edges, and I'm going to allow it to sit in the pan for another 15 minutes or so, and then I'll place it on a platter, and I'm going to allow it to cool completely, and I'll show you how I like to serve it. Okay, so my cake is completely cooled, and we are definitely ready to dust it with some icing sugar. Now, you can serve it warm with some ice cream on top. That would be wonderful as well. You can serve it warm just as it is, but I do suggest that you allow it to cool at least 45 minutes or so. And as I mentioned, I'm going to be topping icing sugar, so make sure that it is completely cooled before you add it, or it will just melt on top of the cake. So I'm also going to be serving this with some strawberries, so that's something else I like to add to this cake. Now, with using the springform pan, you want to make sure that you don't take it off before serving it, because it is a very delicate cake. It is very dense and moist, so you want to make sure you just leave it as it is and cut your slices just from there. If you use the parchment paper, just make sure that you pull it and it doesn't come on the slice of cake before serving, because that could happen. And that's about it. So what I'm going to do now is dust it with some icing sugar, and we will be ready to try it. I can't even explain the texture of this cake. It is so wonderful. It is like eating a souffle brownie. It is light and airy, yet decadent and moist. It is so wonderful. The taste is just amazing. You can serve it any way you like with whatever you like, and it's going to be perfection. I promise you, it is great and so easy to put together. So I really hope you guys give this one a try. So if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give us a nice big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you will be notified every time I upload a new and delicious recipe. Share the recipe with your family and friends, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. The links will be in the description box below, along with the recipe. And I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Bye everyone.